I'm super excited because I got a bunch of these swatches like a week or two ago, and this is all my blues that I had chosen, and I am going to create an abstract painting with these. So if you want to see what that's like, follow along. I think I'm gonna start with this color, which is the Payne's Gray. That's coming straight from the tube. I'm not gonna alter this in any way. This will be fine. Even if it's not exact, it's fine. My first layers are always more watery. I'm going to add water to it. So I always add like a splash of water. If you add a lot of water all at once, you get kind of clumpy paint. And then I'm just gonna keep mixing. I want a pretty watery consistency because I'm gonna just pour this out onto the canvas. So, I mean, I had a few squirts of paint and I'm putting like this much water in here. I am gonna put a glove on. I don't wanna look like I just haven't washed my hands. I'm just starting to pour. I'm not gonna use a lot of this. And then I just sort of tap just to get some more wild splatters. The other thing that I'll do is add some water and let that sort of spread in places and thin out. And it gives it sort of dimension. And I'm just going from like darker to light. I'm kind of gonna move up the painting here, adding a little water. I'll start here, I think. I'm going for sort of almost a gradient feel where I'm actually gonna take these two and mix them a little bit. They almost blend into each other a little bit. And I'm just running my fingers through it sporadically, nothing too overthought. I am gonna add some water. Dab some of this water up. I like that. Okay, I'm gonna mix up my next color, which is this color, this light blue and white. The goal is to go quite a bit lighter than my swatch. They're pretty close. I don't know if you can see that. When the watery paint is too thick, what happens is it like doesn't give you those same like splatters, and it just kind of comes out thicker and it just doesn't give like the same effect that I'm trying to achieve. Hey, I used it all. For the last color, it is very white. I've got like two little pumps of white in here, like a smidge of this color. I have no idea what this color is. It's a color I mixed a long time ago for a different painting, and it just was the right tone that I needed, and they'll be very close, but I'm okay if it's not exact. I'm gonna put a fan on this and let it dry, and then we'll continue. Okay, so it's actually the next day. I let the painting dry. I just kind of left it overnight. As you can see, I feel like all the colors have pretty much been as close as I could get them, and it's looking exactly how I want it to. At this step, now that it's dry, I'm going to start to add some marks and some bigger like blobs of paint. I'm gonna use a little bit of that paint that I used for here that I added white to, and I'm just going to kind of glop that on and just use whatever is left in the jar. There is no rhyme or reason to any of this at this point. I'm just putting marks throughout the painting just to add some texture and like dimension, and that was that for that color. Blend that in. Moving on. 1 second. Okay, I can't get this. Oh, yay. So one thing that I like to do is take tubes of paint. They should all be able to kind of be used almost like a pen, just to get some of my like swirly marks. You will often see a lot of dark and light colors in my work. Okay, and then for the next color, do I want to just use this straight? I don't think I do. I will put some of this in here and mix a little, like, I have like a warm gray that I can mix with this. A lot of times I'll use brown, but with this particular blue, I don't want it to turn green. Dull it down a little bit is really what I'm trying to do here. I'm just gonna kind of drop this in places. I do like to put some of these like drips on the tops of my paintings with extra paint that I have left over. And we're just gonna keep sort of blobbing paint on here. This grayish blue, maybe add just the tiniest bit of this Payne's Gray and some more of that gray, because I really want some like muted tones. Grab like a skinnier brush and just start to kind of make marks. Let me grab the camera so you can see. So this is what it looks like from my view. Still a bit messy, but it's definitely going the direction that I want. The paint needs to dry now before I can continue to make marks. Okay, so it is even the next day. This will be the third day I've been trying to film this video. I have a couple of other paints that are in tubes that I'll probably just kind of write with a pale blue. This one is blue gray. I've also gone through and picked out mark making tools. So I have some markers. I have some other blue markers. I picked out a bunch of blue pencils and a couple blue oil pastels. All I'm doing is making as many little marks and different things as I can. We'll stop when we feel like we need to stop. I also, in every painting, use this black 6B pencil. I think this is Staedtler Mars Lumograph Black. Whatever that means. I don't know. It is my favorite pencil. I'll go buy like 20 of these. I'm gonna start with like my darker colored marker. I like to do like scribbles. I'm trying to do variations of color. Even with the mark that I just made, I might cover that up with some of the paint in the tube. I've got a couple oil pastels, different qualities, different colors. Put marks wherever we think, and some of them are going to be longer, some of them are going to be fatter, some of them are going to be different. Sometimes I even like to cover some up. I have this lighter color, putting the lighter colors on the darker spots and the darker colors on the lighter spot. I really like this color. My favorite part is this pencil because I just think that like you can go really crazy with it and it just, I don't know. I could have a whole painting that I don't really love that much, but once I add this, maybe it's the contrast, but it just adds something to it. Ooh. I like a lot of texture to my paintings, but I also like to be mindful of how it's going to ship, and I don't know, sometimes you have to roll paintings up to ship them and you don't want that to be an issue. I'm just going to continue to add some marks. I typically like to leave some negative space in my paintings. A lot of my paintings have sort of a U shape to them. That's just what I gravitate toward. I feel like this is sort of a stopping point. So again, I'm gonna let these globs of paint that I sort of added and what I drew on, we'll let that sit, we'll let it marinate. I will sort of sit back and just look at it from time to time throughout the evening, and I'll decide if I want to add anything else to it. But so far, this is what we've got. I really like this monochromatic sort of blue style so far. Hey, believe it or not, it's like day 4 of this painting. It doesn't normally take me this long to make a painting. It's probably because I'm trying to make a video and self-sabotage. I don't know, but this is where we've gotten. Everything is dry. I do kind of feel like this area here, I'm going to kind of build on it a little bit with a few lighter marks just to add a little bit of contrast. And then I think I'm done with it. We're using paint. I've already mixed up this like very light blue color meant to sort of emulate this color here. I'm just going to take kind of this like stiffer flat brush and incorporate a few almost lines is like what I'm aiming for. You'll see a lot of this in my work. And just for balance, I'll probably add a few spots over here, but I just like to sporadically create different squared off, straight. I say straight and then it's not straight, but you know what I mean. Blob that there, and maybe even down here. And you see how that just kind of broke things up a little bit? This feels much more finished now. I know that seems kind of crazy, but I think that we have pretty much done as many marks as we possibly can. This is a bit maxed out on the marks, but that's what we love about it. I really, really like it. So far, I think this feels finished. Except now I want to add a little something right here. Maybe a little more right here. So this is what we ended up with. I like it. Do you like it? Thank you.